Anyway, so we got a lot of ground to cover, so I'm going to get right to it. And thanks go out to my friend Dan Christofferson, an avid tuna fisherman right here in New Jersey. Goes out as often as he can. He caught 2 more tuna, this week. It's awesome. Goes to a place called Three Wrecks. It's a famous place for tuna here in Jersey, and it's awesome stuff. Super fresh. And shout out to my brother David, who is here from Boston on business. And how could I let him stay in a flea bag motel when we've got a guest room? So here he is. We're feeding him well, and that's awesome. So fresh catch, New Jersey yellowfin tuna, thanks to Dan. And always want to remind you, you can tuna piano, but you can't tuna fish.
And I am so happy that we're doing the tuna episode today, so I can stop hearing that joke.
No, that joke will never end. That is a dad joke extraordinaire.
And we've got Dave Garcia. He said, hey, he's down there. And
what's up, brother Dave? Florida man.
Yep.
All right, so we're doing tuna 3 ways. We are doing tuna tartare, just raw tuna. Super fresh tuna is great, perfect for tartare. We're doing tuna carpaccio, which is also raw. It's different style. We've probably had beef carpaccio where they take eye of round or tenderloin and they slice it super thin and they pound it out with a little olive oil and stuff like that. We're going to do that, and we are going to cook. Just do a quick pan-seared tuna. And I made a sauce earlier. It is basically a wasabi beurre blanc, which is a butter sauce. So I did that because then we would have had to do 4 things and Lynn would have been pulling her hair out. So, right? All right, so we're getting to the carpaccio first. I'm sorry, the tartare. So I've got the tuna in here already cut up. And I'm going to make that first because I really want it to be cold. So I'm going to make it, we'll put it back in the refrigerator. I've got 2 bowls here. The first thing that we're going to do is I'm going to take all my sauce ingredients and I'm going to put them in the bowl. And those sauce ingredients are, I'll tell you right now, it is garlic, I've got right here. So 3 cloves of garlic going in the bowl. Make sure I don't get any plastic in there. Beautiful. Nice juicy garlic. We're doing some ginger. Copious amounts of ginger. This is 1.5 tablespoons of ginger in the bowl. I'm putting in 3 spring onions. Right here. And those are scallions, just chop them up. Nice. I am putting in 3 tablespoons of soy sauce. I'm using Tamari. It's a Japanese soy sauce. It's a little less salty than a Chinese, like a kikkoman or something like that. I'm doing 1.5 tablespoons of rice wine vinegar. That's going in. And a tablespoon and a half of honey, which I forgot to measure out. So we're going to put in 1.5 tablespoons of honey. It's going to sweeten it up just a little bit.
Okay.
And this is basically...
Sorry, if it was me measuring that out, I would have actually gotten out my measuring spoon.
Yeah, it's a little easier to do it this way.
Just eyeball it.
Yeah, eyeball it. Not critical. And so we are going to give this a nice stir. So again, ginger, garlic, scallions, soy sauce, rice wine vinegar, and honey. That is our sauce for our tuna tartare.
I can't wait for dinner.
Me neither. All right. So I'm going to take sorry for the banging, our tuna. Now what I did was I took a nice loin of tuna and I cut it up. Beautiful. I mean, look how beautiful this is. So this is about a 1/2 inch dice. I went large. So that's what we're doing. And this is, let's see, it's in grams. So I'll get the recipe online for you. And this is going in here. This is going to marinate our tuna. We give it a nice quick stir. Make sure everything's coated in all the dressing. Yes, that looks awesome.
What if you can't get the loin and you only can get a piece?
You can do this with tuna steaks, no problem. You know, go find some nice tuna. I know that Costco sells a pretty decent ahi tuna. You could use that. All right, that's going to go in here. We're going to let that chill. And we're going to go to our next step. So the next step is the second component of our tuna tartare is cucumber. So again, I used the Persian cucumbers because there's less seeds, and I cut them into nice cubes like so. And that's going into a separate bowl. And then also in this bowl is cilantro. So I've got, I don't know, a good handful of cilantro leaves that I cut up. Just a nice rough chop. Doesn't have to be super fine. That is awesome. And avocado. So we're doing 1.5 avocados. And I didn't want to do it ahead of time because I didn't want it to turn brown. So that we're going to do right now. I've got a half here because I made sushi for Lynn for lunch today.
So
And it was awesome.
Tuna sushi for lunch, and I now get tuna 3 ways
So
for dinner.
so that's tuna 4 ways.
Yes.
Add it up.
And it was,
Yeah.
it was really good.
So we want it diced similar to the size of the cucumber. So we're just going to run our knife through here. We're going to basically dice it in the shell, crisscross, like that. And these are
I love this.
absolutely beautiful. And what I'm going to do is I'm going through the side, just
I've never
like
done
that. And I'm not going all the way through to the bottom. I just want to at least get some of them cut into cubes. And I'll use this spoon. And this way we can just spoon it out. And we've got our diced avocado.
This technique also works great for guacamole.
Yes. Again, we're going to do the same thing here. 3 across. Just be really careful not to cut all the way through the skin because
It hurts.
your hand is right there. Just going to do a little bit through the side here. A little bit over here. So I like it. This is perfect, classic, avocado, tuna, ginger, avocado. It's not just for guacamole anymore. You know what I mean? Very healthy too. Make sure you get all that. And again, I've told you about the Hispanic market that we've got nearby, and it's great because you walk in there and every avocado is like perfectly ripe.
And watching from your Grateful Stuff page, we have Laura Lopez. She loves tuna.
Hello,
and
Laura.
She loves tuna sushi. It was really,
Nice.
really good.
Yeah, it was super good.
Pretty easy, right?
Yeah. I mean, listen, the rolling of the sushi is a challenge because I don't do it every day. But for the most part, it came out really, really nice. All right, then we got our guac,
And
avocados.
so Brian Stortini asked a question, and
Yep.
I might be off topic, but would the vinegar make it a ceviche? I thought the egg yolk was added to tartare. Trying to pick your brain.
Egg yolk in tartare is almost like a I want to say a garnish almost. So, and I guess it does add to the creaminess, but typically you get it and it's whole and you kind of just mix it in. So, yeah, tartare to me is anything that is served in its raw state, similar to beef tartare. All right, I'm going to put a little bit of salt and pepper in here. like that. And I'll take out my fina mill. We'll do a little black pepper. That is salt. That's better. Nice and peppery. Alright. Give that a final stir. Nice. So these are going to be our 2 layers. Alright, so we're going to switch gears now. And we're going to go sear some tuna. And then I'm going to come back and do the carpaccio. And I'll explain why I'm doing it in that order when we come back. Alright. Where am I going to put this? That is the question.
So we don't actually have a lot of what I'll call food to eat, ready to eat in the fridge. What we have is the ingredient fridge.
That's right.
Provisioning.
We are very ingredient heavy in this kitchen. Alright, so Lynn,
Yes.
if you would be so kind. Oh look, I missed a couple of pieces of tuna, Dave.
Oh my, oh my.
If you'd be so kind as to follow me over to the...
So here we go.
Yeah.
Dave's eating scraps.
So, I got a nice hot pan going. Let me show you what I've got here. So, in my little hotel pan, I have 2 beautiful hunks of tuna. Absolutely gorgeous. They're cold because you want to do it cold because it'll give you a little bit of a leeway when you throw it into the ripping hot pan. The other thing I wanted to show you is I am using safflower oil. I learned something when I went on my fishing trip to Lake Erie and we did fried fish in an Airbnb, and our buddy Phil said, make sure you bring safflower oil, and I'm wondering why. And I swear this worked. It eliminates practically that fishy smell in your house. So if you're going to fry fish, use safflower oil. It's a high temperature oil, and it must absorb the odor or something, because I'm telling you, we smelled no fish smell in that house. So I am going to use that for my tuna. I'm going to just put a nice coating on the bottom. We are not trying to deep fry the fish here, but we definitely want the bottom coated. I'm going to, of course, season my fish, because although it does come from salt water, yeah, it doesn't absorb it. So we have to season it after the fact. So the idea with seared tuna, and I'm not going to put pepper on because we know the pepper burns and turns bitter. The idea with seared tuna is just to cook the outside. It doesn't need to be dark like meat, like a roast. You just want to cook the outside, so when you slice it, you've got an area on the outside, the inside is still cold and raw, essentially. So that's what we're going to do. Got a nice shimmer going on here. And it's starting to smoke now. So I am going to gently put my tuna in. And I want to keep it high because that tuna just lowered the temperature in the pan. And we want to make sure that we keep that in mind. Take the pan. There's our top. Excellent. So I'm going to use the spatula and the tongs, and we're going to go on every surface. See if I can do both at the same time. Oh yeah. It's that quick. Every surface. That is how quick searing tuna takes. This big one will take a little bit longer. Nice. See the tuna starting to flake.
Oh, wow.
And again, you can eat tuna raw, so having it well rare is perfect. And now this is going to come onto a plate with a paper towel. I'm going to turn this oil off. So you could also do this with a sesame seed crust. You would want to do it at a lower temperature because you don't want the sesame seeds to burn. There you go. Very nice. One more on this side. And we have seared tuna. That easy. Awesome. I'm going to turn this down. We'll bring this over to the cutting board. We're going to let this rest. And we're going to get working on our carpaccio. So carpaccio, one of the things about the carpaccio is you want to have it in the freezer. So it just makes it easier to slice the fish. So you want it not totally frozen solid, but you definitely want it frozen. So it gets nice and firm. It just makes it easier to cut. So again, I have these two beautiful tuna loins. I'm going to dry them off. Just like that. Now there's two ways we can go. If you are comfortable with your knife skills, you can just use a knife and cut them really thin. If you can't get them thin enough, you can put them between a piece of plastic and gently flatten them out. So we're going to see which way we're going to go here once I start cutting into this tuna. So I'm going to just clean this end up because I want it nice and flat. And I'm going to get my platter. Right there. And that's where it's going to go. Beautiful. All right. You got this, honey?
I do. We are zoomed in on that.
So I'm going to do one more cut. And I'm going to see. Let's put it between two pieces of plastic and see where we can get with it. And you want to be really gentle because it is tuna and not meat. And you can really get it paper thin. And try not to tear it. You know, and I think I'm liking that. So like they say, you can read the New York Times then. Right? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to gently pound them just to get that super thin that we are looking for.
Is it okay for the second piece to be out?
Sure. Yep. We'll cut a couple of them. Yeah, it's a very delicate fish, so as far as texture. So you want to be careful when you pound it. And I'm really letting the mallet do the work.
So it's not a lot of effort.
Not a lot. I'm letting the weight from the mallet do the work.
And I'll say, and make sure you don't use the spiky side of the mallet.
Yeah, definitely not.
That's my tip.
Thank you, Lynn. This looks really good. So I'm not going to fill the whole platter. You're getting the idea. Do a couple more pieces.
Somebody suggested that you need some cooking music.
Yeah, I would be playing the Grateful Dead if I didn't think they would take it off of Facebook because of rights, musical rights.
I think Grateful Dead has authorized their audience to record their concerts.
Well, they have, but that doesn't mean Facebook knows that. But I agree. I like cooking to music.
Have you heard any Grateful Dead stuff? So we've occasionally had Grateful Dead playing in the background. Do you know if you've had it taken down before?
No, I haven't. 3 more pieces. And you guys get the idea. Then what we're going to do is we'll put together our tartare.
You had a request for Terrapin Station.
Nice. I love it all.
So you got a tip.
Yes.
So from Melissa, thank you, Melissa. She said she does Facebook Lives to music. You just have to put in that you don't own the rights to it in your comments in your post.
Oh,
That's
nice.
fantastic. Thank you.
yes, thank you. One more piece and then we'll get going on the tartare. Okay. So what am I going to do with the carpaccio?
And can you turn the fan down?
I sure can.
Thank you.
All right, carpaccio. Here's what I'm going to do. You can go a million different ways with this. I am going to go a little nod to beef carpaccio, and I'm going to use capers. But first I'm going to put a little sesame oil. It'll help everything stick to it. Nice toasted sesame oil. We are going to put a little bit of tamari, again, that Japanese soy. I'm going to actually put capers. That's my nod to the classic beef dish.
And I'll just point out that he's going to actually fill that plate up
Oh yeah, oh I definitely will.
after the show, but nobody wants to watch him just.
Right. This is Japanese citrus called yuzu. It's yuzu juice. It's a really nice citrusy flavor, not too powerful. It's a little bit toned down. So I'm going to put a little bit of that on here. Going to give it a really nice flavor. And I am going to put a little togarashi. That is a little bit of Japanese chili. And again, it's not ripping hot.
So I can eat
Just
it.
a little heat.
Okay.
We are going to sprinkle a little bit of sesame seeds. These are toasted sesame seed. And you can get an overview of this. And I'm going to finish it with a couple of nori strips. Give it that sushi feel. All right. That looks awesome.
It looks
You can do citrus,
Beautiful.
you know,
I'm going to come over and take a look.
you can do some citrus zest if you wanted to, but that basically is your dish. It looks really good. I think I can't wait.
You going to have a taste?
So I'm going to take a taste, if you don't mind.
I think
roll it up.
Dave and I might mind.
So you can eat it just like this. You can put it on a rice cracker, whatever you want.
As long as he doesn't take a pound of flesh.
It's
Exactly.
out of control. All right, put this back here till.
Okay, so I have some stuff before you move on.
Yes.
So Laura Lopez, she goes, where can you find that? I believe it was that last seasoning that she was talking about.
Togarashi.
Yes.
All right, so Togarashi, I bought it at Fresh Market of all places. But if you have an Asian market around here, my Asian markets, even the Chinese markets, they have other like cuisines like Thai and Malaysian, and so it doesn't just, they don't just sell Chinese products. So you can get it there for sure, or I'm sure you can get it online.
Can you put up the bottle again?
Yeah.
Just so people can actually see the label.
Ichimi Togarashi.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
And then we have Melissa. Thank you, Melissa. She was the one who gave us the tips on music.
Yep.
She said, what are you making with this?
With what?
I think with our meal tonight. Is it a question of, are
This
we
is
making
just
vegetables?
tuna 3 ways. 3 different ways that you can use tuna. Because I'm a glutton for punishment and I can't just do one thing.
I believe our vegetable this evening is avocado.
The vegetable is avocado and scallions and rice.
That's not a vegetable.
It's a grain. Right? Alright. So let's plate. Let's do our tartare. Tartare. So we have our 2 components. Alright, this is going to be really fun. So, I also want to remember that I have some, wherever it went. Oh, I have it out here. We'll get to that in a minute. Alright, so I am going to plate it in a ring mold, just because we're fancy like that around here. And so first I'm going to put on the bottom our beautiful avocado and cucumber and cilantro. I think I'm going to put a little bit of sesame seed in here because I can. It's looking, see, it looks a little dry, so I want to add a little bit of sesame oil to it.
How much flavor does sesame oil bring?
Actually, sesame oil it adds a ton of flavor. People tend to overuse it. So I will caution you, do not overuse it. All right, so our first layer is going to be our avocado.
We also have Cade out there. He's like, hey, y'all.
What's up, brother Cade?
And Kevin was really complimenting having a friend that'll give you some tuna.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we've got our beautiful avocado. I'm going to kind of get it, smash it down just a little bit to get it throughout the ring mold here. And give me some room to sit the tuna. And I want to get a fork because I don't necessarily want all of that juice in here. So I'm going to give it a nice stir. And we're going to start packing in our tuna here.
And if I've missed anybody's comments, I am flipping through a bunch of different groups' pages,
As always.
and I may have missed you.
So if you don't have a ring mold, this actually is a biscuit cutter, truth be told. You certainly can do this in a ramekin and then flip the ramekin out and it'll work just fine. Will all taste good, I promise. All right, so I want to keep this in the confines of my ring mold. Beautiful. Center of the plate. And the moment of truth.
My moment of truth is when my arm got really tired trying to hover over you.
Can you see?
Uh-huh.
Okay, good. Okay, that's what we want. Again, a little sesame.
I'm gonna come down for a nice angle.
We're going a little bit of scallion.
Look at that.
We're going to take it up a notch to the next level.
What? What else are you adding? Is that seaweed?
A little bit of seaweed salad on top. So there's our tuna tartare with avocado and cucumber. Awesome. You could even listen. Your kitchen, your rules. My kitchen, my rules. I want a little yuzu on here. Go for it. Give you a little bit of refreshing citrus taste. And this I'm going to definitely serve with these crackers. I love these crackers, especially with tuna tartare. So, why wait?
Are you sampling?
I'm sampling.
Ah.
I know, it's killing you guys.
Natalie Chavez says she's drooling.
Nice. So I'm going underneath, getting some of that avocado, getting some of that tuna.
Okay, you gotta do a close-up of your fabulous bite.
Look at that.
Oh yeah.
Killer! There we go.
Dave and I are hungry.
Mm.
Where are our snacks?
Like perfect balance. It's great. It's cold, it's crunchy.
I guess if you put that over here, you'd be afraid that Dave and I would just start eating it and ignore you.
No, I can give it to you guys. I'll give it to David.
No, it's all right. No,
All right.
Keep it.
Finally, we're at our final dish. We're going to plate it on here. I've got some sushi rice that I made earlier.
That means you seasoned it.
I seasoned it, rice vinegar, and fanned it as I mixed it. It's a whole process. Nice and sticky. I could put this in a mold if I wanted to. Trick my friend Mike from Bon Palais taught me. If you stuff it into a plastic funnel, so it goes up the tip a little bit, so you get this really nice design. Wash my hand. Okay, and let's see what we got here. So when you cut this, you definitely want to cut it against the grain. Gotta make sure you do that.
Laura loved your comment on your kitchen rules, my kitchen rules.
Yeah.
And it looks absolutely delicious. And I saw a comment earlier that I can't get to. So I think it may have been Melissa that asked. It may have been Laura. But they were asking where we are. And they said that they were a Jersey girl in a North Carolina world or something like that.
Nice.
So I missed that a while ago. But we're based in Central Jersey.
Yeah. There we have beautiful seared tuna. I mean, that's exactly what you want. You just want a
That
little outside,
is gorgeous.
and you want that. Now, what am I going to do with it?
Eat it.
Same thing. We can garnish with a little bit of this, but I have a sauce. So I'm going to put a little decoration on there. And here I have my wasabi beurre blanc. Got cilantro, excuse me, cilantro, wasabi powder. You got it, honey?
I got it.
Beautiful. Not the, most luscious looking color, but hey, that's what it is. So it is kind of like chimichurri. It's very strong, very potent, and not necessarily spicy potent. I'm talking just a bold flavor. So I don't want to mess too much with the tuna itself. So really just a little drizzle like that. That's really all you need.
How long did that take to make
What?
that sauce? Because I know you did that before.
The sauce took about 10 minutes because you got to whisk in the butter at the end. So that takes a little bit of time. But here we go, guys. A little fresh of this. We'll put a little bit of that. It's good to have the typical components and, use them whatever you're feeling. Food is art. So do it. Here is a little, this is actually fresh. Well, not fresh. It is actually the real wasabi rhizome. I got it at my fish guy Metropolitan Seafood, and he had it in the freezer. So it's actual wasabi rhizome from Japan, and it's really spicy. So I'm just going to put a dollop on the plate, so you can drag the fish through there.
Also, your normal wasabi is more of a horseradish.
Yeah, it's a powdered with coloring and all sorts of stuff, you know.
And we have Bobby Hare. He said that he's in New Jersey at exit 67.
Nice.
Hey, Bobby. Welcome.
Let's do a little more of that on top. So there you go. So you know what, especially Japanese food. Lynn and I spent 2 weeks in Japan, and the food is absolutely beautiful to look at.
Oh,
And
stunning.
that's what you do. Build your dish. Your plate is your palate.
Are you going to have a taste?
Yes. This I'm going to use my chopsticks and a knife. I'm just going to cut through this. It's super tender. This stuff from Dan is outrageous. A little bit of that. I'm going to take a little bit of rice on top of that. Here's my beautiful bite.
Dig in.
There we go. Outstanding. So, anyway, that's our show for tonight. Thank you again, Dan Christofferson. Maybe knocking on your door again sometime soon. Ding. And thanks for my brother David for coming out. Thanks for all of you guys. Thanks for you sharing me with your friends and family. Get them on board with what we're doing here in the kitchen, cooking live every Wednesday or thereabouts. And if you know, they can always go to my group, Grateful Chef with Eric Eisenbud, my new page, same name. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Instagram. All these videos live there in perpetuity. You'll see them forever and ever until they tell me to take them down. So, thank you again.
And you have a website.
We have a website.
Yes.
Lena reminds me. www.eatingwithcheferic.com. Tons of recipes there, some travel stuff. I think you really enjoy it. And that being said, I say to you, be well, eat well, be kind, and vote, vote.